Hey guys, so we're back in this video with our food delivery service and our ordering system again. So you'll see here we have all of our menu items here listed with a submit button. But unfortunately there isn't much features here for the user. There's no way to enter a name, email, or any location for the actual delivery. And there's not like a confirmations email, and there's also no way to double check with the user, make sure they're ready to submit before they submit. We'll do that here with a modal that'll show up on the screen that will give you an option to submit or go back. So let's go ahead and get started adding some extra features to this. So first we need to update our models because we want to have some more data in there. So we open up our models.py, and on our order model we need to add all the data for the name, email, and the address. And so to do this we'll come down here and we'll add a name field, and we'll set that equal to models.char field. We'll give it a max length equaling to, we'll say 50. And for now I'm going to give it a blank equals true just to avoid having to set a default. So put blank equals true. And that's just for the current orders already in there. All the new ones will require it on the front end to require them to put in all these fields. So they shouldn't turn out blank from this point forward. And now let's go ahead and add an email field. So we'll type email equals models.char field. We'll do a max length of, we'll say 50 again. And once again, blank, let's do equals 50. And then blank equals true. And then down here, we'll go ahead and add a street field. Set that equal to models.char field. Max length, once again, will equal 50 with blank equals true. Equals true. And then we'll go ahead and do a city, which will be the same thing, models.char field. Do a max length equals 50, blank equals true. We'll do a state equals models.char field, and this one we'll put a smaller max length because it's just a state name. And we'll just put just 15. That should be enough. We'll put a blank equals true as well. And then finally we need to add a zip code. So we'll type zip underscore code equals models dot integer field. And then we'll go ahead and put blank equals true and null equals true as well. Now we'll go ahead and save that. And that should be all we need to add to our order model. So now we'll have ability, kind of columns on this row to add in a name, email, and our street, city, state, and zip code for the address. Now let's jump into our order.html and let's add these fields to the form. So we'll go ahead and jump into that file here and we'll scroll down here. And now you'll see here we have an N4 and we close off that div. And that will just correspond to this area right here. This is where we're going to put this data at. So right there, we'll go ahead and create a div. Set a class equaling to form group padding top -3. Within here, we'll add two things: a label, which will put a for equals name, and then we'll just put full name. Close off that label. And below that label, we'll put an input field. We'll put required to make sure it's not blank. And then we'll put class equals form-control. And type equals text. We'll put a placeholder equaling to your name. And we'll put this name field equaling name. And then we'll go ahead and just close off that tag. And then we'll go ahead and close off this div. So real quick, on this input field, we put this required attribute here, which just make sure that we can't submit it with this field being blank. Now over here, we have this name attribute, name equals name. This is very important because this, what we set here for this name attribute will be what we use to pull the value out in our views.py later on. So make sure this name right here matches what you put in your views.py here, which we'll do here in a second. Now I want to do the same thing, but I want to go ahead and add the same thing for email as well as all the address fields. So I'm going to go and just copy this. And here, paste it a few times. I'm not sure exactly how many. We'll start with that. And now we'll go ahead and change some things. So we'll start with this. This will be email address. We will go ahead and change our placeholder to be example at company.com, and our name field will set to email. And then we'll come down here and we'll do street address for this next one. Just street address. And once again, we'll keep all this the same. In our placeholder, we'll go ahead and put, let's put 1, 2, 3, 4 Main Street. And I'll put a name value of street. And then we'll go to our next, oh wait, we'll fix that. Now we'll go to our next one down here, and we'll go ahead and put this to be, this will need to be city. And then down here, our placeholder, we'll put, let's put San Francisco, so San Francisco. And our name value will be city. Now, down here, we'll go ahead and change this one to state. Placeholder will be just CA for California. And then our name value will be state. And this last one here will be zip code. Zip code. Placeholder will be, we'll do 94117, and then our name value will be zip. Alright, so now with that in there, that has all of our fields. We go ahead and save that. Come back here and reload this page. You'll see everything here is lined up and just in a straight line. We have everything filled in how we want. But I'm going to change one thing here. We're going to stack the name, email address, and street address how they are. But for the city, state, and zip code, we're going to put those in line on the same line. So let's go ahead and make that change. So back in our orders.html, we'll find where we start here. So we stack these, so those will stay the same. Now below here, we'll go ahead and do a div with a class equaling row. And then inside of here, we'll put a div class equaling column dash md dash 4. So on medium screens, it will go 4 wide, which will give us room to put all 3. But on small screens, we wanted to stack how it is. So we'll do column dash sm dash 12. For small and extra small screens, it will just stack how it was. And then we'll go ahead and grab all these. Let's fix the indents on all of these. So we'll just pull them in to about there. And then we need to go ahead and close out both those tags like that. Now let's save that. Jump back in here, reload the page. And we're not stacked though. What did we do wrong? Oh, I didn't add the action. I just put one column. We need to put a column for each of them. So we're going to close that. Come down here. Open a new column. Same thing. Column dash md dash 4. And then column dash sm dash 12. And then we'll close that off here. And then down here we'll do div class equaling column dash md dash 4, column dash sm dash 12. And then we'll close that one off. Sorry, closed off from our previous one, so we'll go ahead and save that. Jump back in here, reload the page, and there we go. And I think that looks a little nicer to have it like that way instead. So we have these 3 stacked with these 3 in line. Alright, perfect. So that's all done. Now, when we submit this, though, it still just submits the order. It'd be much better if it gave like a little modal here that said, "Are you sure? Are you sure you're ready to submit?" And if they say yes, then we'll submit. If they say no, or say go back or whatever, it'll take us back to this page. So Bootstrap luckily has a lot of different modal classes to make this easy. So if we jump into a browser and just search for it, we can find the code we need. So we open up modal and scroll down. You'll see right here we have an example modal. Click on it, and it opens this little page up, or this little modal up. So let's go ahead and grab this code. So first, let's grab this button, copy this, and replace this button with that button. Actually, for now, I'm just going to comment it out because I want to copy it for the next step. But we'll go ahead and instead of having that button there, we'll place this button right here and fix the indents. Let's go ahead and just make a change here. Example modal will be to submit modal, and this will be submit order. And now we come in here just to double check. Now the submit order button, I'll make it black though, like the other ones were. So we'll change this from primary to dark. Save that. Go to the page, and there we go. And now right now it does nothing because we haven't added the modal text yet, or the modal code yet. So let's go ahead and jump back to this modal page here. You'll see here all this code right here will do the work for us. Go ahead and just copy all this. Jump back into here, and we'll put this anywhere really, I guess. We'll put it just right below this button here. So we'll go ahead, we'll go below this, and we'll just paste it right there. We'll go ahead and fix the indents. And then we want to go ahead and change all these example modals back to submit modal, which I changed it up here to be. So do that. We'll come here under edit, and we'll click, where is it? Right here, replace. I was going to find, I guess, on Sublime. Then we'll type submit modal. We'll change that one. We'll change that one. Oh, so let's hit replace, replace, replace. There we go. So those are now replaced so they match the one we put up here. And this is important because this will be what actually opens the modal. So this needs to match the ones down here. So now we can go ahead and save that. Come back here, back into our app, reload the page, click submit order. Now we're getting this modal. And already we have a close button and a save changes button. Let's go ahead and add our little "are you sure" to this code here. So to do this, let's see here. Let's go ahead and in the modal body, actually let's go ahead and just get rid of the modal body completely. We don't really need this, so we'll go ahead and just delete this. And then in our modal title up here, we will put submit your order, and then we'll change this to a light button, and this one down here to a dark, and this will say place order, and this one up here will say go back. Go ahead and save that, reload the page, and now we open this modal up. We're getting a submit order, and my button's not working. Let's fix that real quick. I misspelled dark. We'll save that. Now let's go ahead and jump back in here and submit the order. There we go. So now we get this little modal here. This is kind of a confirmation to submit the order. I can hit go back. It takes me back here. I can go ahead and hit submit, and it will not submit right now because we haven't set that up. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. So we need to change the type to submit. So we can submit, because we're in a form, and we want to submit the post request. So we can do that by just changing that to submit. Go ahead and save that. Jump back in here, reload the page, hit submit, and hit place order. And now we're getting these errors. They're kind of over top the modal, so it's kind of hard to see. But we're getting these errors because these are not filled out. So it won't submit unless everything's filled out. So now we have all this set up. We have our modal set up to submit. But we need to go ahead and add these changes to our view so it actually captures them and changes it and adds them to our order model. So let's jump into our views.py to do this. And so first thing we do, let's go ahead up to the top of this function here. So we're in our post request on our order view. And the first thing we want to do is we want to grab all those name attributes we set. So in our order.html up here, if you remember, we put these name values and these name attributes to get the value of this input field. So to grab this value inside of our views.py, we can just go ahead and do this. We have name equals request to go to the current request dot post, since we're doing a post request, dot get. We can get whatever saved in name, and go ahead and copy this, paste it a few times, and I'll go ahead and change some of these. This will be email. Just doing Control D to select both of them. Street. City, state, and finally zip code. And now we have our values there that we can use. Let's go down here. Let's go to where we're actually creating our. Let's go down here to where we're actually creating our order. So right here, order equals order model.objects.create, price equals price. Let's go ahead and add some more values to this. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on a new line just to make it easy to read, like this. And now I'll go ahead and just put commas here and add a few more values. So name equals name, email equals email, street equals street, city equals city, state equals state, zip code equals zip code. Save that. And that should allow us to submit our order. Let's go ahead and try this out real quick and see what happens. So we'll jump back in here. We'll go ahead here and reload the page. Now let's select a few items. Let's select an appetizer, an entree. We'll get a drink too. We'll go ahead and type in our user information. Let's put it as a capital just so it looks a little better at 94117. Now we'll go ahead and submit our order. Submit your order, place order. And now we're getting an error here. Oh, before we do this, we need to actually migrate our changes to the database. So we'll open up our terminal. We'll stop our server. We'll type Python manage.py make migrations. Python manage.py migrate. Migrate those changes over. We'll go ahead and run the server. Now we're running. Let's go ahead and go back and try this again. So we'll go ahead and select an appetizer, an entree, and then a drink. We'll go ahead and type in our information here. There we go, and we'll hit submit order, place order. There we go, order submitted, and we have our list here of what we bought with our total right here. So that's all working well. The last piece we want to add is we want to send an email to the user once they submit their order as a kind of a confirmation sort of receipt sort of thing. And with Django, You can go to your settings.py and set up all the SMTP settings. You can set up another email to send from here to the customer email. But for now, since this is just in development, we're just going to send the email to the console. So it'll show up in here in the console once we submit an order. And then later, you can easily switch the email backend from the console to actually send a real email. So to get this set up, the first thing we do is we need to jump into our settings.py, which is right down here. Scroll to the bottom here. We got to put one line in here. We need to type email underscore backend. So that equal to a string, which is Django. Django dot core dot mail dot backends dot console dot email underscore, or no underscore, just email backend, like that. Go ahead and save that. We'll jump back into our views, and now we can go and import our send mail function. So here at the top, we can go ahead and do from, actually let's do it, we'll do it up here, from Django.core.mail import send underscore mail. Now down in our view, let's go ahead and use that function. So we'll put it right here at the very end, right before we load our template. Put a comment here, and we'll put after everything is done, send confirmation email to the user. And so we'll go ahead first. We'll type send underscore mail, which equals a function, or no, doesn't equal a function, it is a function. And then within this function, we need to pass in a few different parameters. So first we'll pass in a subject, and we'll just put thank you for your order. Then we need to pass in a body. I want to put that in a separate variable, so I'll type body for now. Then we need to send it from the from address. So what email address is this email coming from? Which in this case will just be example.com, just for our testing purposes. And then to have a list, we need to put the emails we want to send it to. In this case, all we want is just this email value that we got from our form. So right here, we'll just type email to get that value. And then finally, let's put a fail silently equals false. And there we go. Now above this function, let's go ahead and define our body. So right here, we'll do body equals. And we'll go ahead and put some parentheses here so we can put it on separate lines. We'll do thank you for your order. Your food is being made and will be delivered soon. Do a \n, which signifies a new line. Outside the string, we'll press enter. And then let's go ahead and give them their price. So I'll put an F string, put your total, and then inside here we'll pass in price. And then we'll go ahead and put a \n to put it to a new line. And we'll go to another line here, and we'll put thank you again for your order. And that will be our body right there. We'll go ahead and save that, and that will go right in there. And that should be it. That should be all we should need to do there. So everything's saved. Save all. Now let's go ahead and jump back into our app. Let's go back here. We have invalid syntax. Did I forget a parenthesis somewhere? Or a comma somewhere? Yes, I did not put a comma here. Let's go ahead and put a comma there. Save that. Jump back in here. Reload the page, and there we go. Now we'll jump into place an order. I'll select a few things. We'll get both entrees this time. Let's go ahead and get a dessert this time as well, and then a drink. Type in our user information here. We'll go ahead and submit the order. Place order. There we go. And this all looks the same. Let's jump into our terminal, and here you go. You'll see right here we have an email. Thank you for your order. Your order's been made. We'll deliver soon. your total, and it passes in the price here. And thank you again for your order. So this is all working great. It's a very simple email. You can add more to it if you want. But they're sending an email. You can see here on the subject, thank you for your order, and it's being sent to john@example.com, which is the email we passed into our form. It's coming from example@example.com. So it's correctly setting this whole thing up. It's just sending it to the console since we don't really have an actual email set up to send right now. But everything's working well. But that's really it. That's everything we were trying to do with the email. So that was really it. We just want to add some more features to this order page so it's a lot more functional than it was. We still haven't added any sort of payment API. That would require using like Stripe or PayPal and using their API, which we may come back later and do that. But for now, we have all this set up. We have the order if you go to the admin page. You go into order models. You'll see this new one here from today. Everything we selected with John's information. And we do have actually one error real quick. Our zip code is not being saved correctly. What did we forget to do? Zip code. Oh, I bet this is not right. I bet it's zip. Let's go ahead and save that. Let's try this one more time real quick and make sure our zip code is saving correctly. So go reload the page here, jump into place an order, select a few things. Put information in. There we go. So now our zip code should be 94117. Submit the order, place order, jump back into our admin page here. Go to the most recent one. And then right here, 94117. So that's all working well. We're saving all our data here with our information. So that was really it. We just wanted to add that extra data so we could access it on the restaurant side when we build that part out. All the code will be in the description below, as well as the link to the written tutorial. And also, I'll put this link to Bootstrap, to the modal, as well in the description so you can do that easily. But that's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.